All right, welcome to Wide Awake News. I'm Charlie McGrath, your host, founder of WideAwakeNews.com. It's the 26th day of October, Saturday, and I've got a special interview I wanted to get done today, outside of the radio program, outside of usual YouTube video, and it's with DonHarrold. I was recently on his program, Stacker Show, right, Don? Stacker Show
That's
on
correct.
YouTube. Okay,
Yep.
and preceding that interview. Don had called me and talked to me about one of his projects, which is the Truth Token. Now, he's spoken to me about this before, going back a couple of years, and it's not the first time someone's approached me and to talk about coins or investing in metals other than the typical precious metals that we know of. And Don's been on my program. I've been on his program. I told him at the time that sure, I'd listen to anything he had to say. When he approached me this time, this is now a couple years later. I probably have had 10 different companies, exaggerating there. Now, I would say about 10 different companies who've sent me emails wanting me to put stuff up for copper or other metals outside of the precious metals that we're all used to. And I thought, you know what, it's time to do a video and get somebody on here that has done some research on this. And what better time than when Don is trying to introduce his latest round of truth tokens. So, Don, welcome to the program. Thanks for having me on yours the other day. Great interview. I have that uploaded on the site. How are you?
I'm doing great, Charlie. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's Saturday and we're working, so yeah, I'm okay. Um, Listen, you had asked if Wide Awake News wanted to get involved, and I said, yeah, but I need to understand a little bit of the basics about why I want copper, nickel, brass, whatever, anything outside of our regular precious metals that we're used to. And I'm glad you're coming on because you're going to make this make sense to me. Like I said, I've been approached by several companies, and I'm interested. I'm interested in doing it. I'm interested in helping you, but make it make sense to me. Make it make sense to the listeners. What what is the difference? I mean, why are we seeing this push toward metals that are outside of what we're used to in precious metals?
Well, it's a great question. I would say one word: stability. If you look at silver, for example, if you were buying silver in 2010, 2011, or 2012, and really up until the last month or two,
Hmm.
every penny that silver moved up and down, people that bought silver took a direct financial hit. Now, when it was between 45 and 50, people were chuckling. When it was between 35 and 40, they were animated. Down 25 to the bottom so far at 18, I know a lot of people who have been financially hurt. However, with the base metals, because most of the cost of the base metals that you buy at retail is in the production side, the metal itself can move up or down wildly, but the actual cost at retail doesn't swing that much. And I'll give you a very good example. If you go to archive.org, and it's the Internet Archive where you can look at websites over the, gosh, they've probably kept websites for 10, 15 years now. And you type in some of the bullion dealers that sell copper at retail, all right?
Hmm.
Look at what they were selling for in 2009 and 10, 11, and 12, 13, and up till now. You'll notice the prices remain very similar. Wild swings on the underlying spot price do not directly affect the retail price like they do with precious metals. So it is an actual fact. Copper, and I've got some in my hand right here. Copper, if I don't drop it, copper that, well, I did drop it actually. Copper we were selling in 2009.
Hmm.
Here's right here. Copper sold in 2009. That very copper, we sold it for 78 cents an ounce. Now, skip ahead 4 years. 4 years later, we just sold copper 100 ounces with free shipping for only 89.98. With shipping in 2009, we sold it for 85 bucks. 4 cent different in price. And it's just been I think, a much more stable metal.
More stable than precious metals. Why is that? Well, I mean, is it because I mean, obviously, when you start, it was 89 cents for the copper. That's what it broke down to an ounce. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Well, what we sold in 2009, we sold at worked out with shipping to 85 cents an ounce. What we just sold here in 2013, 4 years later, 89, let's call it 90 cents a piece. So a nickel difference. But in the middle, buying copper, you could buy at wholesale somewhere between 70 and 75 cents, and you would expect to pay at retail somewhere between 95 and a buck 25 a piece on just generic bullion copper. The
Okay.
reason for that is because the underlying commodity, perfect example, if you assume that there's going to be a production cost at wholesale of 50 cents an ounce, let's say,
Hmm.
and if copper spot is say 20 cents an ounce, there's say 70 cents in production cost. Now, let's say that spot drops 50%. Your wholesale price goes from 70 to 60. Let's say spot doubles, then your retail price can go from maybe 90 to $1.10. It's just a much more stable. Now, if copper ever goes to $5, $10 an ounce or higher, then you would see wilder swings and fluctuation on price. But it's just,
What about?
go ahead.
I was going to say, what about the obvious question that someone gets is like, look, copper. In the instance of copper, what is it? $4 a pound, $3 a pound.
Oh,
Um,
a pound, something like that.
yeah, and so I mean, is there a big disconnect between the price of copper, that's posted on exchanges, this $3 a pound? I come from a copper mining town, and everybody used to watch the price of copper going up and down to see if they could anticipate kind of profit sharing bonus. So you're seeing that spot price for copper or other base metals. Is there a bigger disconnect between that? I guess the question I'm asking is, if I know silver, say for an example, is $25 an ounce spot price, that when I go to buy a coin, I might buy something that's, let's say, within $5 an ounce of that spot price. It's not really the same case for base metals, though, right?
Well, it's not the same case. In fact, and Charlie, I don't know how much time you want to go on this, but it's a really big topic.
Yeah.
Let me give you an analogy from the grocery store. My next door neighbor works for Cargill, and they are huge corn producers. They do everything with corn. They distill it, they make sugar out of it, they make corn protein, etc.
Right.
And I was talking to him one day when corn prices were doubling and tripling and going crazy over the last few years. And I said, listen, why is it when I go to the grocery store, the corn oil that we buy, that's not doubling or tripling in price, even though the commodity underneath is doubling or tripling? He said, well, the reason why is because the cost of what you're buying at retail has so much in the production. The underlying commodity itself is not really moving the price that much. There's not a scarcity. Listen, there's not a scarcity of the finished product, and there's really not even a scarcity of the commodity. It's just that when the commodity moves up and down, it doesn't affect the finished price as much as it would if you were just buying raw corn. If you're
Okay.
just buying raw corn, the swings would be much more significant.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that totally makes sense. Now, answer me this: why am I seeing over the last couple of years this push? I mean, are you seeing the same thing? This push to get into, and we've been talking about copper, but other metals, excuse me, rather than established
Well,
precious metals.
you want me to give you the politically correct answer, or do you want me to give you the real truth?
Truth.
Here's the truth. A lot of these dealers that have been selling people overpriced precious metals versus spot are seeing that the interest for silver, for example, is waning. There are a lot of these retailers, and I could name some that I won't, that are having a hard time right now because as precious metals prices have come down, the zest and the zeal for that in the public is coming down and their premiums are coming down. Mike Maloney came out with the silver round, 79 cents over spot. And that is a real game changer for silver. Now, along the way, a lot of these dealers are looking for ways to have products with higher margins. And
Right.
so they're looking to copper, they're looking to nickel, they're looking to brass and things like that. I think there are reasons to own those products, but at the right price. And that's what Truth Token is about. I want to change the game. I don't want people to have to spend the sorts of premiums that they're spending on these products. I want these metals. I know other people do also, but you should buy what you want at the best price you can find. And that's what we're offering.
Well, this is what I do like about it. When you have now the brass and you have the copper before and the nickel, is that if you want to get into metals, if you want to stack something, it's something that you don't have to drop $1,000 or $500 to do. You can get a pretty sizable quantity for not a lot of money. But two things you brought up: the Truth Token. What's the motivation behind that? The name of it. What are you doing with it? And then the second question that I know that I'd like an answer to before I buy some is what do I do with it? Do I hold it like I do silver, gold? If I need to liquidate some of it for whatever reason, is there a market for it? Make that make sense?
Can I take your last question first?
Sure.
Okay. Again, I want to talk about truth here. I want to get away from the nonsense and the bullshit. If you don't mind, you might bleep that out. I apologize.
Bleep.
Here, here's the deal. Silver stackers and gold bugs have talked this talk of long term. Talk this talk of stacking to stave off werewolves and vampires and inflation. But when you get right down to it, they've really been all about trying to have a lottery ticket pay off. If you
Mm-hmm.
go back and look at the last 3 years, people are bent because prices didn't keep going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. Because prices didn't keep going up, people right now are angry and they're pissed and they think they got a raw deal. And the real truth of this whole movement's coming out. They thought they were buying something because a lot of the big names were telling them $100 an ounce right around the corner. There are people now, again, I won't name names, but you can find them if you want to, saying that you'll be buying a house with 5 ounces of silver, that gold and silver are going to go to parity. There's one famous retailer who says that gold is fairly valued in a hyperinflationary environment in quadrillions of an ounce. That's the mindset of those folks. So when people say, well, when you ask, do you hold this like you hold silver? How many people do you know, if silver went to $50 tomorrow, wouldn't unload in a heartbeat? Let's be honest about this. So when you look at the base metals, they really are about holding, in my opinion. They really are. They get down to the fundamental reasons of why you might want to own some hard assets. Why do I want copper? Why do I want nickel or brass or these things? I'm not going to make any money on it, Charlie. I'm not buying a house with copper. I'm not going to beat werewolves or banksters or whatever. But here's the interesting about it. If silver goes to $1,000 an ounce, this copper, where do you think copper is going to go if silver goes to $1,000 an ounce?
Yeah.
I mean, are you going to want to go to Walmart with a satchel full of $1,000 an ounce silver? Or will you be glad at some point you've diversified in things that aren't breaking your bank to own it? One point I want to make about this. You can buy 100 ounces of copper right now at my site. Well, we're sold out actually, but you could have for $90.
Right.
$90, spread that out over a year. And you're talking about, I don't know, is it 3 cents a day or something crazy like that, or 30 cents a day? And let's say that copper prices get cut in half. Well, unlike silver that you've sunk everything into, and now your kids can't go to college unless it goes back to 35 an ounce. So copper goes to a dime an ounce. Okay, so you've lost effectively 40 or $50. But if we do get that sort of hyperinflation that people think we're going to get, then I don't see anything wrong with owning a diversified group of metals that are super cheap right now. One day people might be glad they have. You're not going to buy a house with it. You're not going to beat vampires. You're not taking down JP Morgan. You're not staving off the werewolves. But in the end, that's not why I'm buying stuff anyway. My motto is this: get out of debt, stay out of debt, make more money, and own hard assets. That's aluminum to zinc, but at the best price you can find. And that's what we're doing at Truth Token.
Truth. All right. Fair enough. Is there an exchange? Is there anywhere? I mean, I'm on eBay right now, and I know I can go find copper, brass, coins that people have up there. Is there an exchange or a way to, if for whatever reason, if you have $1,000 worth of brass or copper or whatever, nickel, coins?
Wait. First of all, let me really jump the shark on something here. Let me talk real truth.
DonHarrold jumped the shark? No.
Anybody that comes to me and wants to buy $1,000 of this better be a dealer. Let me be very clear. I personally am happy to own just 100 ounces of any of these things. I'm fine. I'm not stacking. I'm not trying to make money on this stuff. I just want a little bit. That's it. If you come to me and you say, I want 1,000 ounces, make sure you're a dealer and you're selling to someone else, because I don't think it makes sense to have that much. That's just me. See, I'm not tying myself up like this. Secondly, if you go to eBay, you'll note, and I recommend people do this, look at the prices. I mean, look at the
2144 for a 1 ounce, 999 fine copper, Second Amendment design. That seems 2144.
That's crazy. Look at the brass. Search for brass bullion, and you will be amazed at the prices people are getting on this stuff. Brass bullion. The average I found was $5 an ounce.
Tell me why the name and True Token. Tell me what's behind that.
Well, because a coin is a legal term, and so what we don't sell coins; they're not money, and you can say token or medallion. And truth is what I'm all about. So truth token, it was an alliteration, and that's it. There's nothing more to it than that.
Well, you held it up to the camera there, and you've sent me links and pictures on them. They're very cool looking. I am looking at eBay right now. 1 ounce Troy brass ship bar, 342 is the buy it now. 5 ounce, 1420. There's a ton on there. So I would imagine if I had a truth token, 1 ounce or whatever size the copper was, if I wanted to put it on eBay, I could. Have you done this at all? Have you moved any?
What? I've never sold on eBay like that, so I don't know. Anecdotally, there is a dealer who bought from me last year or the year before, bought 1,000 ounces, sold every ounce for $2 an ounce, saved for 100. So he sold 900 ounces at $2 a pop, and he bought them from me for 75 cents an ounce. Bought from me for wholesale. So excuse me. So you know, you got to get out of the mindset. Not you, Charlie, but a lot of people have been sold this idea that you need to buy things to make money on them or flip them. Forget it. You're not going to make. You're not getting rich on these. I'm not getting rich on these.
Right.
If you go to my site and you look at what we're selling this stuff for, go to retail sites, go to eBay, find something even remotely close to the prices we're selling at. I don't think you can do it anywhere.
Well, I'm looking at. Go ahead.
No, all I'm saying is that if you want to diversify into some base metals, which I do, and I couldn't find anywhere to go to give me what I wanted at a price I wanted. So you've known me for years. If I can't find it, I'm going to do it my own way.
Yeah.
So I went out, I talked to dozens of mints, haggled and finagled and argued and beat my head against the wall and went back and forth, found a mint that would work with me and have minimums, and I've got to meet those minimums, and they give me the best deal I can find, and we put it out there.
Well, and I'm looking at. Go ahead.
No, that's just that simple.
Well, and you have sent me when you had asked me to do this. I told you, yeah, come on and make it make sense, which I think you've done. I mean, I like the idea. I like you know me. I mean, I'm holding up some of the half ounce silver that I have right now. I like this kind of thing. I'm going to buy some from you just because I think it would be cool to have the 160 for $90 deal that you're putting out, and your explanation of thinking outside of the normal precious metal. I don't think it's just DonHarrold saying that, and the reason I say that is because I have been approached by so many different companies that are looking to offer base metals, and you're right. I mean, the pricing of what you brought here and what you showed me is far less. I haven't found anything even close to the same, especially we've been talking about copper this whole time, especially on copper. But they're gone. So let's talk about what you have now.
Well, the copper and the nickel, the copper sold out in a week, and of course they would at that price. The nickel we sold out in 3 days.
Okay.
I mean, you go to, and I don't want to name names, just go to some of the sites that sell 1 ounce nickel, and what you'll notice is we sold our nickel at $3.25 a piece on average. The most expensive we had was $3.50 with free shipping, and it blew out in 3 days. The brass, we're down to only 8 lots left. Only 8 lots left right now. We're blowing through that as well because
what's a lot? How much is in a lot?
We're 160 in a lot.
Oh, okay. Oh, 8. Okay, 8 packages. Got it.
Right. It's 160 a lot. So these things are blowing out as well. And at these prices, I mean, you just can't find this sort of stuff at these prices. And I think that people are recognizing. Look, if you go out and you want base metals, we can argue why you would or wouldn't want them. If you want them, don't overpay for them. That's my whole deal. Don't overpay for them if you want them. And also, there is an exchange coming. There will be an exchange for this stuff, hopefully next month or so, and I'll let you know about that.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. All right.
Just
all right. That I definitely want to hear about because I'm about to buy one of your 8 lots. And what we'll do is, let's do this. I mean, like I said, you wanted to promo it on the website and all that, and I said yes. Come on, make it make sense. You've done that. I'm going to get 160 of them, and when you could talk about this exchange, we'll get them back on. Plus, at that time, I'll show the tokens that I purchased. So
there's something revolutionary on the way. I can't say what it is, but there's something I'm telling you is revolutionary. It's on the way. I want to change the industry. And by the way, I talked about Mike Maloney earlier. I give a lot of props to Mike Maloney for coming out with that Pegasus round, that 79 cent. You should have him on your show. That 79 cent over spot silver is the best value. I have no connection with him. In fact, I've been critical of him for years. The industry is changing. I want to be a part of it. And people need to also get away from this mindset that high premiums make sense, buy at any price, all that. That doesn't make any sense. The more money you spend, on stuff, whether it's stuff you want or you don't want, or you need or you don't need, that's less time and energy you've got later. And at Truth Token, we're trying to give people base metals. We're going to move into precious metals. That's the next metal we'll do is silver, but we want to give people the best price they can find.
All right, and I want to make it clear that speaking for myself and the program, well, speaking personally, I already showed you my half ouncers I just got in. I still am a strong proponent of gold and silver. I mean, I have it, and I'm not. I don't.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, but I don't. I also didn't buy it thinking I was going to buy a house with 5 ounces or 50 ounces. I've heard everything in between in the last couple of years. I buy it because I truly believe it's a historical store of wealth, and I just like collecting this stuff. So I firmly still believe in my precious metal, but I'm very much interested in the trend I see going in these base metals, and them being as would we call it a store of wealth, or this is the thing. This is
it's something that you really have to psychologically understand.
Yeah.
If you buy copper, for example, you're not buying that to flip it, and I don't think you want to just keep stacking it or put it. People say, well, why would I want a warehouse full of copper? You don't. I don't have a warehouse full of it. I want 100 ounces of this, 100 ounces of that, because I don't mind spending the equivalent of a pizza or two and a movie with my kids on something that I have never seen. I have never seen copper or brass or any of these things go to zero, and I haven't lost my ass on this stuff either. But if we do get the sort of environment that some people think we're going to get,
and they're cool looking.
Yeah, they are cool looking. So what would be wrong with having something that so far seems to have held up? I just don't see the problem.
Look, I've talked about and somewhat coined the term urban mining, at least a lot on the program, because I've been in the building industry for over 20 years, and we see in a lot of decimated urban areas where people are going in and stripping homes. Urban mining. They're going into abandoned homes and taking out the copper, taking out the brass, and taking it down to the recycle to make some money. So, I mean, there's no doubt there's value in this. It's just a different concept. It's a different concept to me to think of it in a token or coin form.
Can I add one final point? Because there's one question that comes up all the time, Charlie. They say, well, spot price of copper is, say, $3 a pound or $4 a pound, whatever. They say spot price of nickel is $6 a pound. Yeah. Why would I want to pay the equivalent on copper of...
Good question. Why would I?
Good. Let me answer that with a question to anyone who's got that question. If anyone listening can find me a way to get 1 ounce copper, minted copper, with a design on the front and the back with a purity stamp on it, just like I'm holding in my hand. If you can get me this for less than I'm paying for it now, brother, I will buy it all day long. Same with nickel. I challenge anybody, go out to the retailers or the wholesalers and find these people that can magically get you your copper at spot. You can't find it. I've talked to dealers, I've talked to wholesalers, I've talked to retailers. It is ridiculously hard to do. So if anyone says, well, why would I overpay? Well, I don't know that it's overpaying when you can't get it produced like this for anything less than what I can find it at. But if you can find it, let me know.
I'm looking at, I just typed in brass bullion, and I'm seeing $4.95, $1.99 for 10 grams.
I mean, yeah. I mean, think about this. We are selling the brass rounds, quarter-ounce brass rounds, Charlie, at $1.94 to $2.25 a piece. Now think about this: at $2.25 an ounce, $2.25 an ounce, that is more than 50% less than I've found at retail, and I can't find quarter-ounce brass rounds anywhere. And yet, if you go online, you go to eBay, go to some of these, find some retailers, you're talking about $5 an ounce to $10 an ounce. Go to Northwest Territorial Mint. I mean, they're a big outfit. You can buy blank brass 47 millimeter blanks for $10 a piece. A piece. I mean, it's crazy. So I would just submit to people who think, well, well, gosh, why would I pay that kind of price? I don't know. Ask why dealers are buying from us.
Do you think we're going to see? Go ahead.
No,
Do you
go
think?
ahead.
Do you think we're going to continue to see more and more of these dealers expand into base metals?
Absolutely. Well, I think, yeah, not
It's
just
kind of loaded because I know it's kind of a loaded question because, as I stated, 3 years ago, nobody was sending me emails to put a banner up for a copper this or a zinc, or I mean a nickel that. But now it's pretty constant.
well, hold on. 4 years ago, I was doing 2009 truth tokens and copper, which I don't know if you can see. There you go, 2009. 4 years ago, I was ahead of the curve on this. So
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest. I kind of scoffed when you first brought it to my. You asked me about this. You talked to me about this probably 2010 maybe.
Mhm.
For the first time, I'm like, wow, that sounds kind of. It sounds kind of goofy, kind of hokey. And then every other site you go to now has a copper bull or a copper or base metal bullion.
Let me be frank with you. It is goofy and it is hokey if you're paying more than you have to.
Yeah.
If you're paying $1.25 a piece, then that's probably goofy and hokey right now. If you're paying on nickel $4 to $5 an ounce, that's goofy or hokey. If on brass you're paying more than what we're doing, $2.25 an ounce on these rounds, I think that's goofy and hokey. I mean, yes, it would be goofy and hokey at those prices, but in my opinion, getting them at these prices is not goofy and hokey.
All right, DonHarrold, I will put this video up obviously on the website as well as the YouTube channel. You'll give us a link that we can put out and people can go to and pick. I'm gonna get what you got. I mean, is 8 all you have left?
8 is literally, we have 8 lots available. These things, I actually pay in advance for this stuff. That's something you need to understand. When these are bought and paid for, this is not a situation where people will be front loading something. I mean, I have already paid the mint. These are in production right now, and they'll be shipped.
Sold? This one.
Well, I'd rather not say. I'd rather not give the exact numbers, but we've sold a lot.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take one of them, so you'll have 7 left. And when we have more information on the exchange, how about we get you back on, or I get back on your program? No, I'll get you on this because then I can show that I got these.
Super.
That work?
Okay, that'd be great.
And what else is going on? You have anything else you want to tell me? Give me the website, or not the website, the YouTube channel. I noticed that you got me, Vision Victory, and Woody O'Brien so far.
Yeah. Well, we have another one coming. Another interview tomorrow with Kevin Barber from Mainstream Preppers.
Yeah.
And he's tomorrow. It's youtube.com/Stacker Show if you want to check it out. We have no advertising there. It's a whole new deal. No advertising. There's no AdSense. There's no promotional stuff. It's just flat out talking about stacking. And let me be clear about this. You said silver and gold. I believe people should own aluminum all the way to zinc. You just have to buy it at the right price and not get overstacked in any one place and just take a deep breath. I mean, that's just what I believe.
Well, obviously, I'm believing you on this because I'm going to pick up some of the brass one. Truth tokens, is it? Well, I'll put a link. Actually, Gary will probably have a link on the video.
It's wideawakenews.truthtoken.com.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll get that link down below too. DonHarrold, thank you very much for coming on and talking a little bit about the inundation we're seeing in base metal tokens or coins that are being offered and why we should and what we should be paying.
Well, thanks for having me. And again, I just want to reiterate that, yes, this is absolutely goofy and nutty at the wrong price. Absolutely. And furthermore, if you want, and maybe this is why I'm not a millionaire, I'm going to tell you, don't buy thousands of ounces of this stuff. That's not what this is. You have how many pairs of shoes? 2 or 3?
I'd rather not say. I'm a shoe guy.
You look at this stuff differently than you'd look at with silver and gold. I think it's just a different deal. And I'm honored, by the way, that you had me on after so many years. I appreciate it. Thank you, Charlie.
You bet. Thank you for coming on here. Did we even tell the price? It's $89, right, for 160.
It's $89.98. The same price on the copper. The copper was $89.98. The brass $89.98. Free shipping anywhere in the U.S.
And what am I getting?
160 quarter ounce brass stamped front and back with the truth token, obverse and reverse. Uh, they're going to be great, and they're super cool. And I can't imagine, and the price has been any better anywhere else. It's awesome.
All right, well, hang out after, and I'll get you the info to get me my lot, my 160.
Okay.
DonHarrold, thank you very much.
Thank you, Charlie.
All right.